In the case study, Google's new strategy in China, principal philosophy, or business savvy provides a timeline in Google's entry into mainland China, alleged cyber attacks on the Gmail accounts of various human rights workers, and then where does Google go from here? Even before they tested the Chinese market, Google's decision did not go over well in the United States. Company executives were called into congressional hearings, and executives were compared to Nazi collaborators. Their stock prices fell, and they were even protested at their headquarters. However, the Chinese market is has extreme potential. There are over 340 million current internet users in China, and that's only a fourth of the population. There are over 1.5 billion potential internet users in China. But along with this market potential also comes a lot of restrictions on information through the Chinese government, and Google knew that going in. China has over 40,000 internet police that monitor outgoing and incoming internet traffic on a daily basis. There are also 80 people currently incarcerated for posting their political views on the internet. But during Google's investigation of these alleged cyber attacks, this became quickly a hot button issue within the United States, and especially with our politicians. The most notable attack came from Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, accusing the Chinese government of hijacking technology to crush dissent and deny human rights. Chinese government criticized Google for escalating the issue. So therefore, Google was really caught in the middle, in between believing the Chinese government and also what their own independent investigations told them. Even while the hijacking scandal loomed large, Google was also extremely unsuccessful in obtaining any kind of significant market share in China. This is because Bandai, who is the Chinese leading internet service provider or search engine, obtained a majority of that market share because they understood the cultural differences, and then they also understood the restrictions from the Chinese government. There are 4 key problems that Google faced within this case study. Google's problems included Google's greed in chasing market share and violating their own company's model, Google's lack of communication with both Chinese and American government officials, Google's lack of learning lessons from the Yahoo, who entered the market previously in 1999 and failed, and Google's dilemma on how to exit the Chinese market while still maintaining positive relationships with the Chinese government and then their technology partners. Now, what I will do is place some alternative and some proposed solutions. Out of the key problems facing Google in China, there were several alternatives that could have been chosen. These are my proposed solutions. So key problem number 1, Google entered China despite their commitment to do no harm, knowing China's censorship and guidelines. My proposed solution is Google needed to recognize the potential dangers of this relationship and form a team of professionals with the understanding of both Chinese and American politics and culture. And these professionals need to stay in constant contact with both the Chinese and the U.S. government. Google also should have learned the lessons from Yahoo. Yahoo entered the market first in 1999, but due to restrictive Chinese government and cultural barriers proved to be too much, so they pulled out of China. And this is what Google eventually did in the long run. Problem 4, Google needed to exit the Chinese market while still maintaining a positive relationship with the government. So my proposed solution would have been that Google should have pulled out sooner, and what they ultimately did in the long run they could have done sooner and possibly maintained some of those great relationships. Now, my recommendations are that Google should have stayed in line with their model and vision, that they should have had foresight to learn from their competition, and that Google should have spoken out sooner regarding the cyber attacks, and then prolonged silence eventually opened the door for political speculation. Again, this is a case study of Google versus China. Thank you.